नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। भगवते वासुदेवाय। So today we will be reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 17, and this chapter is entitled The History of Kālindyā. And text today we are going to read starting from 12 up to 20. We will do repetition for 20. So I will read text and translation beginning from 12. तत्कालीय परम वेद नान्यः कंचन लेलिह अवासित गरुणाद्भीतः कृष्णेन च विवासितः. Of all the serpents, only Kālindyā came to know of this affair, and in fear of Garuna, he took up residence in that Yamunā lake. Later, Lord Kṛṣṇa drove him out. 13 and 14. Kṛṣṇam hrdat viniskrantam divyasragandhavāsasam mahamani ganakirna jambu nad pariskritam uplabhyothitam sarve labdha prana ivasavah pramod nibhritatmano gopah pratyabhire. Resuming his description of Kālindyā's chastisement of Kṛṣṇa's chastisements of Kālindyā, Śrīla Gosvāmī continued. Kṛṣṇa rose up out of the lake wearing the divine garlands, fragrances and garments, covered by many fine jewels and decorated with gold. When the cowherd saw him, they all stood up immediately, just like an unconscious person's senses coming back to life. Filled with great joy, they affectionately embraced him. So, use this. 15. Jashoda Rohinim Nando Gopyah Gopasya Kaurava Kṛṣṇam sametya labdheha asan shushka nagapi. Having regained their vital functions, Yashoda, Rohini, Nanda and all other cowherd women and men went up to Kṛṣṇa. O descendants of Kuru, even the dried up trees came back to life. 16. Ramasya jahashas nubhavita premra tam ankam aropya punah punarudakshata gavo vrisha vastarayo lebhire paramam mudam. Lord Vṛndāvana embraced his infallible brother and laughed, knowing well the extent of his potency. Out of great feeling of love, he lifted him up on his lap and repeatedly looked at him. The cows, bulls, and young female calves also achieved the highest pleasure. 17. Nandam vipra samagatyah guravah sakalatrakah ūṣur काल्यग्रस्तो दृष्ट्या मुक्तस्तवात्मजः. All the respectable Brahmanas, together with their wife, came forward to greet Nanda Maharaj. They said to him, "Your son was in the grip of Kālindyā, but by the grace of the providence, he is now freed." 18. Dehi danam dujatinam Kṛṣṇa nirmukti hetave Nandah prītamana rajan ga suvarna tadashitat. The Brahmanas then advised Nanda Maharaj to ensure that your son Kṛṣṇa will always be free from danger. You should give charity to the Brahmanas with a satisfied mind, O king. Nanda Maharaj then very gladly gave them gifts of cows and gold. 19. Jashodapi Mahabhaga Nast Labdha Prajasati Parisajvankamaropya Mumuchur Srukalamuhu. The greatly fortunate mother Yashoda, having lost her son and then regained him, placed him on her lap. That chaste lady cried constant torrents of tears as she repeatedly embraced him. This turn, please repeat after me. Tam rātriṁ tatra rājendra kṣut-tṛḍbhyāṁ śrama-karṣitāḥ ūṣur vraja-okaso gāvaḥ kālindyā upakūlataḥ tam rātriṁ tatra rājendra kṣut-tṛḍbhyāṁ serma-karṣitāḥ ūṣur vraja-okaso gāvaḥ kālindyā upakūlataḥ tam rātriṁ tatra rājendra kṣut-tṛḍbhyāṁ serma-karṣitāḥ ūṣur vraja-okaso gāvaḥ kālindyā upakūlataḥ. माता जी that rātriṁ, night, tatra, there, rāja-indra, O most exalted of kings, kṣut-tṛḍbhyāṁ, by hunger and thirst, śrama and by fatigue, karṣitāḥ, weakened, ūṣuḥ, they remained, vraja-okasaḥ, the people of Vṛndāvana, gāvaḥ, and the cows, kālindyāḥ, of the Yamunā, upakūlataḥ, near the shore. Translation and purport by disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Translation. O best of kings, Parīkṣit, because the residents of Vṛndāvana were feeling very weak from hunger and thirst and fatigue, they and the cows spent the night where they were, lying down near the bank of the Kālindī. Purport. Śrīla Jīva Gosvāmī points out that although the people were weak from the hunger and thirst, they did not drink the milk from the cows present there because they feared it had been contaminated by the serpent's poison. The residents of Vṛndāvana were so overjoyed to get back their beloved Kṛṣṇa that they did not want to go back to their houses. They wanted to stay with Kṛṣṇa on the bank of the Yamunā so that they could continuously see him. Thus they decided to take rest near the riverbank. This chapter describes the story or history of Kali serpent. Of course, the whole incident has all been described how Kṛṣṇa chastised Kali serpent in Kālindyā. After this description, Parīkṣit Maharaj inquired from Sukadeva Goswāmī, so what was the reason? How come that Kālindyā left his own residential place, residential deep island, Raman, and he took shelter, or he living here in Yamunā, in Vṛndāvana? What was the reason? And another question of why he should have some hostility, enmity with Garuna, carrier of Lord Vishnu, topmost devotee. Why there should be some disagreement, quarrel, enmity between between Kali serpent and Garuna? So this chapter starts with this question, and remaining Sukadeva Goswāmī gives the answer. Already yesterday, unfortunately for months, I was not present here in Srimad Bhagavatam class. So I don't know whether some previous speaker had described the history, previous life of Kali. So, however, I will come up that point. So Sukadeva Goswāmī started gave whole description how Kṛṣṇa came out from the lake, from the grip of first how he came out from the grip of Kali serpent, and eventually how he was worshipped. Kṛṣṇa was worshipped by Kali and his wives. And also they decorated very nicely Kṛṣṇa, the wives of Kali. And then Kṛṣṇa comes And when Kṛṣṇa came here, the description of jubilation, happiness of residents of Vṛndāvana is described. And eventually the 19th verse describes the jubilation of Mother Yashoda. We will come to the text that Śrīla Jīva Gosvāmī describes that. Jashodapi Mahabhaga Nast Labdha Prajasati. Mother Jashoda, almost she has lost her son, darling son, dear son. To understand, when Kṛṣṇa was right in the tight grip of Kālindyā serpent, unconsciousness, Kṛṣṇa was there. At that time, Mother Jashoda came running all the way from the Nandgaon, standing on the bank of Yamunā river, seeing his own, her own blood and flesh was there in the grip of a most poisonous snake and powerful snake, Kālindyā. What was her condition, you can understand. However, she could not bear the pain of separation, that situation. She fainted, absolutely, completely unconsciousness. Only when she came into consciousness, when Kṛṣṇa came out, other scenes she was not able to see. Only she came in consciousness back in life when Kṛṣṇa was right next to him. Kṛṣṇa touched her body. Then she smells the fragrance emanating from the Kṛṣṇa body, and she came in the consciousness. Then what happened? Yashodapi Mahabhaga Labdh Nast Labdh Praja, her own flesh and blood, Kṛṣṇa, Praja. Parīkṣit, she immediately she lifted Kṛṣṇa and placed Kṛṣṇa in her lap, and again mumuchuh asru kalamhu. Torrents of tears were freely flowing from her eyes. Kṛṣṇa was wet in the Kālindyā, but again some dry garment was there. But this her Mother Jashoda eyes were so inundated that again Kṛṣṇa became wet, soft with water, tears. And then the Brajvasi decided, of course, this pastime started somewhere the mid of day, because summer time, and whole description is to late night, late evening. And tam ratri, that ratri, they did not return to their respective villages, homes. Every single resident of Vṛndāvana, Brajavasi, they decided to remain here on the bank of Yamunā river. There is a very celebrated place in this direction you must have visited, called Damanal Kund. That was Damanal Kund. The forest fire took place there where they were lying, the Brajvasi were lying. So they decided, because it was too late, it was not possible to walk all the way from here to Nandgaon or their respective, and besides they did not want to leave Kṛṣṇa association to go to their respective villages, their houses. So they remained there. In this purport, it is pointed in the purport that they were thirsty, they were hungry, they were tired. Still they did not drink milk, cow milk, evening. It was quite natural that cows were there. They would have milked the cow. milking the cow, and they, because they were hungry, whole day no one had taken any food. How come that they did not drink cow milk that evening? So here Jīva Gosvāmī mentioned that they were thinking that all the cows, they have also drank the water from the Yamunā river. That reason why they were on council. Maybe then poisonous effect would be there in the milk, so that they did not milk the cow, they did not drink it. So this description is here described. I would like to talk something about the history of Kālindyā. Of course, the chapter is still describes the story or history of Kālindyā serpent. Kālindyā serpent was fortunate enough. We know in Srimad Bhagavata many places is described that even we yogis, they spend centuries, many births to see, they want to touch the lotus feet of Kṛṣṇa, or not lotus feet of Kṛṣṇa, even they would be satisfied simply by touching the dust of lotus feet of Kṛṣṇa. For that reason, they perform austerity, trance meditation for life after life, for century. And they are not able to, even the lotus feet of Kṛṣṇa doesn't come in their meditation. It is very difficult for them to meditate upon the lotus feet of Kṛṣṇa. For that end, even Lakshmi Devi wants to touch the lotus feet of Lord Kṛṣṇa. For that end, for that purpose, Lakshmi Devi gave all the opulence, pleasure, delights of Vaikuntha and came here in Vṛndāvana, and he engaged herself in austere vows, austere austerity, engage herself in austerity, severe austerity, taking an austere vow, like sleeping, lying on the bare surface of the earth. Lakshmi Devi does this one, taking 3 times bath in Yamunā river, eating very little thing. Still, today, even today, she is not successful. She is not successful to touch the lotus feet of Kṛṣṇa. So, yogi, they meditate. They could not catch, even in meditation. They are not fortunate enough to touch the dust of lotus feet of Lord Kṛṣṇa. And this Kālindyā, poisonous, envious creature, insignificant, he was able to. So it is like inconceivable for us how he has attained this opportunity of being touched by the lotus feet of Lord Kṛṣṇa directly. So here we know that in order to touch, in order to associate the body of Kṛṣṇa, he did not make any effort, Kālindyā. Kṛṣṇa, out of his own sweet will, entered in Kālindyā. Even Kālindyā had not any desire to have association with Kṛṣṇa. He has no love, no affection for Kṛṣṇa, no endeavor on his part. Kṛṣṇa voluntarily, out of his own will, entered in the Kālindyā. So it is inconceivable for people in general what piety he has earned in his previous life so that he was able to touch, he was qualified enough to completely embrace Lord Kṛṣṇa. Kālindyā, one point, first he fighting and then Kṛṣṇa dancing on the hoof of Kālindyā. And eventually Kṛṣṇa came in the grip, middle the body of Kālindyā. Kṛṣṇa body was surrounded by the body of Kālindyā. Touching Kṛṣṇa heart, chest, directly touching the body of Kālindyā. So such a fortune, how this opportunity comes. So we will talk on this subject of what piety he has earned that make him qualified enough to touch the body, transcendental form of Lord Sri Kṛṣṇa. So I will tell some story described in that commentary many acharyas had referred. There he has earned some piety, no doubt. So first, smaller one I will describe briefly. Once upon a time there was a very elevated saintly person. His name was Ved-sīra. By this name he was engaged in pure devotional service. He was cultivating Kṛṣṇa consciousness in the middle of forest. Gandhamadhan, somewhere in range of mountain of Himalaya. At that time, another saintly person, he was equally elevated spiritually, ūṣur. He came, he liked the vicinity, area, neighborhood of that place, and also sweeping some part of the land, and he also started meditating, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra loudly. The previous saint, Ved-sīra, heard that someone coming near my kuti and trying to disturb me. Immediately he came out. He became very much angry to see ūṣur was sitting next to his ashram, his kuti. He became very much furious. And again said, how come? How you dare to come here in my place? You don't get any other place. Go ahead, immediately, please leave this place, go anywhere else. Then Ved-sīra, ūṣur also become very much angry. Said, it is your land. Savai Bhumi Gopal ki, every single inch of land belongs to Kṛṣṇa. You are claiming that your. I will do here bhajan. I will not go. And then quarrel started. Then ūṣur, he cursed him. You are speaking a very harsh word, as if poison is emanating, coming out from your mouth. You don't deserve to remain a human being. You become a snake. And your mouth, there is poison, deadly poison would be there, remain in your mouth. So he was cursed. Ved-sīra was cursed by ūṣur. Then Ved-sīra was also, he also cursed. You are disturbing me, making noise next to my ashram like crow. Kawa. Kam yahan karte ho. You also become a crow, bird. And the curse and counter curse, they realized the seriousness of immediately Lord Vishnu descended there, and seeing the awkward position that both servants were very much in awkward position. Lord Kṛṣṇa was crying, my two servants, such a going awkward position. And then Kṛṣṇa assured them, okay, because the curse has leaped out from the lip of both of you, so no way to make it false. It will happen that I make sure that you, Ved-sīra, when you will become snake, then I personally will come in touch with you. I will put my foot on your head. So that Ved-shira became Kaliya. And Ashva-shira, he was Kṛṣṇa, he became Kāk-bhūṣundi. You might have heard. Two great devotees came in a species of bird, one Garuna and the Kāk-bhūṣundi. He lives in Kāk. So previous, this is the okay, nice both. But another instance also described in the commentary how previous life of Kali serpent. So I will tell simple story. In South India, in Kanchi Pradesh, Kanchi, there was a very nice, pious king. Was very prosperous, ruling the kingdom. He loved his subject Praja as if his own Aurus sons. Ruling everything. Everything was peace, was prosperity was there. But by the influence of previous misdeed, he has one rogue, sickness, disease. That is called Sanskrit called soul rogue, dysentery type of. Since very beginning of his life, everything was okay. It was unbearable pain was there in his stomach, belly, and very frequently he had to attend bathroom, toilets. So one day, Narad ji came. Narad, moving here and there, he was really the king was the pious, he received and he thought himself very fortunate that such a great saintly person, Narad ji there in his. He received him, Narad ji, and then he requested, he arranged a katha, some upadesh, call all the ministers, brahmanas and gentlemen sit, and Narad ji become a speaker. Narad ji was speaking the katha. All the audience were rapt, just listening very nicely. But Narad ji noticed that the king, middle of the katha, he was going back and forth, sitting for listening for a time and going inside, came out, again sitting. Many times he did the king. Narad ji becomes a new king. I am the topmost preacher, son of Lord Brahma. By your fortune I am here. I am speaking. And you are going back and forth something. So you think there's some more important thing to do inside your palace? It is really very disrespect for a saintly person like me, not only but with katha also. It is absolutely bad etiquette, against etiquette, Vaishnava etiquette, what you are doing. And with folded hand, the king grabbed the feet of Narad and he related this story, my dear Muni, Narad ji. मैं शौक से नहीं जा रहा हूँ. I have such a really problem, dysentery type of. I had to go, otherwise whole your katha will be disturbed. So he related that thing, and Narad ji thought, oh, this is the problem you are saying. So I have one medicine for you. Instant, completely and forever it will go away from you. What is that medicine? What is the treatment? What is the remedy? In your own kingdom, not far away from this capital city, hardly 50-60 miles away from this place, dense forest is there, and there are big banyan, glorious banyan trees there. Hundreds or thousands of birds are living there. Among the birds, there is particular type of bird that cooling pakshi, cooling bird, they are living. You simply go there, try to catch alive cooling pakshi. male and female, both you have to catch without hurting. Alive you have to catch by your hand, bring, cut, cook, eat the meat, flesh, and your rogue, your sickness will be go completely forever. It will be uprooted. Very easy, lifelong sickness, disease, just in fraction of day it will go. Simply you have to eat the flesh of a Kuling Pakshi bird. Male and female, both you have to catch. Next day, king very jubilantly, after Katha explained, went there in a royal dress, majestic dress, and he saw hundreds of, and he also saw the male and female Kuling Pakshi were also living there. And Pakshi, they are coming sometime down here, then roaming on the. Sometime the Kuling bird also came near, but they are not coming very near. And he jumped from the asana, he tried to catch, but they flew away. So this happened first day, failure, no success at all. Second day, months passed, every day he was going there and trying to catch, but he became very much frustrated. It was really impossible to catch. He had not used any weapon, simply jump and catch the flying bird. So he became very much frustrated. Naradji has gone. No, he was not knowing whereabouts of Narad. One day his own minister said, "My dear king, don't go in the royal dress. Really you want to catch that bird? Dress yourself a Vaishnava dress, devotional cloth, and go there. Very easily you will be able to catch the bird." The next day, the king dressed himself, did not kurta, shirt, no kurta, simply dhoti, and in 12 places with chandan, Dwadash tilak, mark some right name of, and of course bead along with bead bag. In Vaishnava went there, same place in the banyan t-shirt. At that day, when he started chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, or whatever Naraji had given his mantra, mantra he was chanting, so many birds, even the small birds roaming here and there, they sat on the soldier also. A smaller one, and a bigger one roaming here and there, as if nothing has happened. No one is there. And the king was looking very carefully. He was interested to catch the Kuling, that male, female, Kuling. They also roaming here and there. They came very near, both. Husband and wife, the bird were very near. And all of it, he was very alert. It jump and catch. In one hand, female and male. Both birds were in his grip now. Then the king started to think, what is the effect of this Vaishnava dress, sadhu dress? Though it is, I have dressed myself for cheating purpose, violence is there with me, in my heart, violent attitude is there. I wanted to catch, kill them. And he was thinking that what was that? If I will not kill this bird, now in their grip, I will not eat the flesh, then I will remain sick forever. I have to bear the suffering. So what should I? Simply by putting myself in sadhu dress, Vaishnava dress, devotional, this living being trust, they have trust and faith with me. What if really I become sadhu? Not only dress, from by within heart. And thinking, immediately came religion. No. Simply I have to get that status of saintlyhood. They released freed the bird, and then the both word, male word, in human language spoke, my dear king, we were in your grip. You would have killed us, but since you have released me, freed me, delivered me, in one sense you have given me life. So Maharaj, I am not ungrateful. I know the very easy medicine for your sickness, your rogue disease. Please listen me and do your rogue, your disease कहते हैं ना, sickness, it will uprooted completely forever. What is that? Next to this place, you see another banyan tree, go there in the kothar, there is saintly sadhu is residing there. Simply go there, wash his feet and drink that pad udak, charan jal. Instantly, within fraction of second, your rogue would be uprooted completely forever. And then king became very much jubilant when they took bath again and collected one small pot, went there, but sadhu was not visible. Many words were living. They uttered, my dear saintly person, please be visible to me, and I am, for this interest, I want to wash your feet and drink that water. For please be merciful. At that time, the saintly person was in the tree hollow. One right foot just came out from the hole. And when the right foot came, the king became very much disturbed. What is it? It was pus, reddish and yellowish fluid was oozing from the body, from the feet. Besides, many insects, worms, some had already died and some were struggling. The baby flies were struggling hard to come out from the mud of that reddish thing. Pus. And not only this, their leg was leprosy, was their complete full leprosy, dripping the yellowish and greenish and reddish fluid was coming out. And one point it becomes whole area becomes surcharged with the foul smell. And then becomes this feet I have to wash and drink that water. No way, it could not be possible. The king thought that maybe other leg, other foot, may be better one. The king, no, please be merciful, please give another one. Then the saintly person lifted that feet, came out. It was worst. As soon as he came, whole situation was this, the whole forest becomes surcharged with the bad smell. So what? Then the baby flies, some has died, some were stuck in that fluid. Smell was coming so bad, what he can do now? And same time he was thinking that, no way, drinking this, it appears that if something is there, it will come out. It will come out. Somehow he was trying to block his nose. But same time, seriousness, sickness, unless he will drink the charan jal, he will not be cured. And the sadhu, he has a respect for saintly person. So eventually lifted his pot and few drops on them. As soon as the fluid coming out from the foot came in that it become reddish and yellowish, and some insect were like a floating or swimming. Some dead flies were also visible there. He tries his level best. First he blocked his nose and closed his eyes and lifted towards the lips, mouth. But it was so horrible situation, it was no possible. He tried to drink. He wanted to, anyhow I have to drink few drops. But he was thinking that I am doing, but it did not remain there. His hand came to. Okay, no, it will not possible. So somehow they took few drops and put his head, and remaining threw on the ground. As soon as he threw, and few drops he has put on his head, immediately a divine fragrance, sweet fragrance spread everywhere. Whole forest was surcharged with divine sweet fragrance everywhere. And then fragrance was coming from the whole thing. Whatever he had touched, few drops, it was very fragrant. And he could feel also some very much pleasing situation. At that time, he started to cry, what I started doing, crying. And then saintly person, he begged forgiveness for saintly person. The saintly person spoke from within, my dear king, you have done such disrespectful attitudes toward the charanrodak, charanjal. You did not put that charanrodak in your mouth. For that reason, in your mouth you will become snake, and your mouth deadly poison will be there. But in one sense you have respected the charanrodak also. You put a few drops on your head. For that reason, you have earned the piety, punya, bhakti. Few drops you put on your head. So certainly, by this piety, Kṛṣṇa personally will put the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Swayam Bhagavan, not Vishnu, not Narayana, not Vamandev, not Nrsimhadev, the Kṛṣṇa, the Bhagavan, Nanda Nandan, Jashodanandan, Swayam Bhagavan will put his head on your, he put his foot on the feet in your head. So this piety he has, or otherwise there was nothing from distance, nothing was good thing in the life of Kālindyā. But in previous to previous life, since he has given respect, I can't say proper respect, but he respected putting charanrodaks in the head. So Kālindyā has, for that reason, Kālindyā was fortunate enough to get the opportunity to being touched by the lotus feet of Lord Kṛṣṇa. For that end, for that reason, even today, Lakshmi Devi is trying her level best to touch the feet, but still, even today, she is not successful. So this is like a story, like a history of a Kālindyā serpent. I think I am little behind my schedule. Of course, the instruction is should I have before 5 minutes before. However, in some very demanding, unbearable, any question is there in your mind, I am willing to, I will try to answer your question. Okay, so I think anything else you, or any comment, maybe you ask. I wanted to have written also, but because we are getting late, one thing I wanted to mention that in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is Payar, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami writes, भक्त पद धूलि और भक्त पद जल, भक्त भुक्त और शिष्ट तीन महाबल. Really, Krishna Bhakti Jan Mool Hoy Sadhu Sangh. Of course, I am not. Krishna Bhakti Jan, root cause of devotional service taking place in the heart of a living entity. The root cause is Sadhu Sangh, mercy of the Sadhu. Without this, it is impossible to get the attraction for Krishna. So, Krishna, Bhakta Pada Dhuli, dust from the lotus feet of Vaishnava, and Bhakta Pada Jal, and the Jal, water, which has touched the feet of a Vaishnava, and Bhakta Bhukta or Shishta. A devotee has honored prasadam, but he has honored prasadam, and if in his plate something left or shishta, remaining, he did not pay attention, something in the corner of the plate is there. So these three has the Mahabal. Mahabal, understand, bal means strength. Mahabal means supreme potency, it has supreme potency. If anyone is fortunate enough to get this thing out of three of one, dust, water, and remnant of food, honored by a Vaishnava. So we should try to get it. Okay, Sri Radha. Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai.